Now, the switch statement is a selection structure. You know the if statement. If this, else if this, so forth and so on. Another type of selection structure is the switch statement. So what do we do this? Let's ask the user to enter a number of a month. And then what we're going to do is we're going to return the actual name of that number. So if they enter 4, April is returned. If they enter 12, December is returned. So what we'll do is we'll say month number. And I'm going to use a character, say yes or no. And the reason why I'm using a character yes or no is because I want to say, do you want to continue or do you want to try this again? Something like that. Yes or no. I'm also going to create a string, so that means I have to include the string library. So I forgot that, string. The string library allows me to create strings. So the string that I want to create is called month name. Month name is eventually going to be something like January, February, March, so forth and so on. Right now, I'll just assign it to nothing. In C++, I don't know if you remember, in C++, there is no initialization of variables like there is in Visual Basic. In Visual Basic, if you declare an integer, it's automatically assigned to 0. In C++, it is not. Who knows what's inside here? Some random value. Same thing here, same thing here. Now, because I initialized this to blank, month name at this point is empty. It's blank. Yeah. All right, in terms of the get user input, within a while statement, I'll say this. First of all, is this variable, yes or no, equal to capital Y, or is yes or no equal to lowercase y? Because the person could have put, I don't know, uppercase y, lowercase y, so I'm covering my bases. You recall that this is the logical OR statement. With the logical OR statement, it works just like English. Is this true or is this true? Do you want to go out to lunch? Is a different statement than do you want to go out to lunch? So what we want to do is we want to ask if this thing is lowercase y or uppercase y, this is what it is. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a cout statement, saying enter a number from 1 to 12. And what that's going to do is it's going to ask the user to enter a month number from 1 to 12. Sorry. Go ahead and take one of those at the bottom. Those are the good ones. And the number on the back is 73. 73. Okay. Your license? Sure. Oh, thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay. So we ask the user to give us a month number. We'll put that into month num. Once we have that, now I can use a switch statement. And so I'm going to go over here, a couple lines down. And so really the calculation that I'm performing is inside of here. So let me just take this comment, and the calculation is really being performed in here via the use of a switch statement. So when I put a switch statement, what I'm asking is what is the value of the item that I'm particularly looking at? Hey, Ron, how's it going? No.
Okay.
I didn't submit anything. I got a leakage problem.
Yeah, I was wondering because they're putting in the new road.
Is that what it is?
Great, perfect.
Great timing, huh?
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you. What is it that I want to test for? Month number. So, you know how you would say if month number is equal to 1, then January. If month number is equal to 2, then February, so forth and so on. All right. So here, what we're saying is, consider only the month number. Now, if the case is that that month number is 1, then cout the word January, followed by an end-else statement, say for example. Now, if the case is that the number is 2, then see out February, and so forth and so on. So what this case does is consider all of the different numeric possibilities. I've asked the user to enter a number from 1 to 12. Now, I haven't restricted the user. I haven't said that you can't enter a negative number. You can't enter a number 23, say for example. My program isn't designed to restrict the user yet. I'm assuming that the user will enter 1 through 12. Okay. So now I can just simply continue with this. If the case is that the user entered 1, send out January. If the case is that the user typed in the number 2, send out February, and so forth and so on. So I'll just simply take this over here, copy, and paste for March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. I'll go back over here. Now, this guy over here, the insert button, on a PC you'll see INS, and then if you tap it, it turns into OVR, which is this guy, overwrite. What overwrite does is it allows me to literally overwrite the text. So this will be 3, 4, 5, 6. See how easy it is to overwrite? 7, 8, 9. Now, I have to be careful here because 10 I really do have to kind of push. So I'm going to go back over here to OVR, double click to the insert mode, and then I'll just get rid of this and type in 10. This will be 11, and this will be 12. All right, and then in terms of the months, I'll just double click March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Oops, I'm off by one. What happened? Let me see. April, May, June, July. I typed in February. I got skipped over. Is what happened. This is August. Let me save myself some typing here. Copy, paste. Copy, paste. Copy, paste. And let's see. September, October, November. And finally, December. So the way this works out is any one of these 12 cases that could possibly pop up is handled. Now, I deliberately have not typed something that is crucial for the switch statement, but I want to see what it looks like. I just want to show you what it looks like here in terms of what I have so far. All right, so now what I'll do, yes, question. Yeah.
I noticed the brace before you're doing the case.
This one right here? This brace?
Yeah.
This curly brace?
You want that in the left side on a line by itself, or can it be up?
Sure, you could do this. You could do that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no problem. I've got all my cases here. Let's see here. This is going off screen. Here it is. What does this curly bracket belong to? What does this curly bracket belong to? Sometimes this happens. And I'd like to know what that belongs to. Well, this guy over here is really part of this over here. So what a lot of programmers do is they'll just simply copy that head statement prior to the curly bracket. They'll copy that, and then they'll go down to the appropriate curly bracket, put a comment, and then put that down. So you know that this curly braces belongs to the switch statement. How about this curly braces? Well, if I go way up, it looks like it belongs to this while statement. So I'll take this over here, I'll copy that, I'll go all the way down to the bottom over here. This guy belongs to that while statement. And that way, as your program gets hundreds and hundreds and thousands of lines long, you'll lose track of where these curly braces belong to, because it could very well be that you want to type something in between them. Right? So this is one technique you can use to assign a comment indicating what that curly bracket belongs to. All right, so we have output, whatever it is that we're going to output, and so now we're going to ask a question, and we can simply say something like this. We'll say cout, whatever the month. Actually, we've already see out the month, and that's fine. Let's just do this. We'll say cout. Do you want to try again? and we'll say yn, like that. And whatever the user says, that's going to go into this variable, yes or no. Now, depending on if they want to do it again, it'll go back to the while statement, which is up here, and repeat this process. Okay? All right. Now, we are not done. I've made a crucial mistake on purpose so that we can learn. Let me run the code. All right, and let me just reduce the size of this really fast to 16 points. So you can see the code over here. Enter a number. Okay, I'm going to enter the number 1. So we expect to see January, but notice what happens when I press enter. We see all of the months. Press any key, oh, I'm sorry, press Y or N. Okay, so I'll say, yeah, I'll try it again. How about 2? Okay, so it lists from February all the way to December. Okay, I don't want to continue. Now, why did that happen? Here's how the switch statement works. The switch statement will locate the number that's true. So in this case, if the user typed in the number 2, well, that would be the case is that the user entered 2, so it will display this. But you saw that it went from that point onward. If that's not the behavior that I want, I have to type a break statement. So what that break says is stop, do not continue. Now, let me just, again, we're not finished. Let me just run the code to see what happens, having placed a break for case 2. So if I run the program, and I'll go over here and I'll type in the number 1, notice that it just lists January and February because the case entered was number 1. That means display January. Up, there's no break, so I will output February. Up, there's a break. I will not continue from this point onward. Yes, I want to continue. Now I'm going to enter the number 2. Okay, so I enter the number 2. And just February alone is displayed because it displayed case number 2, February, and then it reached a break. It does not continue. Yes, I want to continue. Now I'll enter the number 3. Notice that it lists from March all the way to December, because there is no break for any of those other items. So let me say no, and what I'll do is I'll copy and paste this break for all of the items. So, you know, this is a cool little tool here because you may have a situation where you want one or the other. Maybe you want to continue, hey, from this point onward, if everything is true, do this, do that, you know, whatever it is. You have the situation, you have this ability to either break or continue with the code. Okay. All right. So when you typed in switch, Visual Studio automatically included a default case. The default case is if everything else above is not the case. If it was not the case that 1 was entered, 2, 3, 4, ... 9, 10, 11, 12. If none of those numbers, then this is what you'll do. So how about I do something like this? Invalid input. Because if you didn't put in a number 1 through 12, then you inputted something incorrectly. Let's see what happens. So I'll run the program. Here's the code, so you can see that, what I just typed. 13, invalid input. Try again, yes. -1, invalid input. Try again, yes. 0, invalid input. Try again, yes. How about 1? That's January. 2, February. 3, March, so forth and so on. How about 12, December? So do you see how that works out? Regardless of what number you enter, one of these cases is in fact going to execute. And if all of the above cases were false, that is that none of those ended up being active, we have the default case. And in this case, I just said send an invalid input and with a break statement. So that's how you use switch. All right.